Don't let me down easy. If you're gonna leave me, baby, go and leave me all the way. Don't ask for all your things back, cussing out my name, yeah, just to go and take back what you say. Burn all the bridges, don't ask forgiveness, walk away like I'm someone you hate. Don't let me down easy. If you're gonna leave me, baby, go and leave me all the way.
we got no choice but stretch him. If he survive these shots at first, bet he die on that stretcher. Deep diamonds, I got water, might just go Johnny my next one. Hey, this Texas tea is what I drink.
Testing, and there we go. What is going on, everyone? How are we doing? And welcome in to Special Media. My name is Special Ed, and tonight we got some ARL Pro Am MX racing. Round number 1 as we head out to California for some Pala racing. Obviously, Fox Raceway, one of the most iconic tracks in the series, and these guys over at the ARL crew did not hesitate to bring us one of the best tracks that I think we have had in a long time. Obviously, a very challenging track. Some of you guys are already calling that out in the chat here, but I think we're going to have some great racing. A lot of these Pro-Am guys was just filtering through some of the names that I saw, and I think we got some big, heavy hitters coming in here tonight. Obviously, that top 40 all going to be moving on to the Pro race. Rest of the riders from 41 to 80 or 81, something like that, are all going to be heading into the Pro-Am races, and I'm super excited to be seeing all of this going on. Obviously, huge shout out to the Aerial crew, everybody that puts this on, Wes, Nico, obviously Stone, all those guys do such a fantastic job with all the work that they put in each and every week to bring us, obviously, not only Supercross, but also coming into the outdoor season. Super excited to see how this season goes. I love the new split between amateur, pro-am kind of thing in the pro scene. I think it's going to really bring in some great racing and some really good things for us to be watching. So definitely excited to see where we can land here tonight. I do know we had some server issues earlier in the night, so I do appreciate everybody for hanging on and sticking it out with us as we get everything dialed in. I did want to take a look at the chat, though. We do have 250 and 450 Pro-Ams running at the same time, so Moto 1 and Moto 2. What do we want to watch first, 250 Moto 1 or 450 Moto 1? And then we're going to switch to the opposite one. So I'm leaving it up to you guys. What do you guys want to watch? Moto 1, Moto 2? What are you guys thinking? 250 and the 250 again. Don't think that is going to happen. I do see a whole bunch of people jumping in here, hitting that follow button. Appreciate you guys all tuning in. Jay Maury, Gerger Binks. I'm probably botching that. Appreciate the follow there, brother. Nasty Nate, what is going on, man? Ascari, appreciate the follow there. BT, Landon, and NVSN. Appreciate all those follows, guys. Does look like everybody's saying 250 first, 250 Moto 1. So we are going to go ahead and do that. We're going to jump into the 250 Pro-Am race. We're going to watch Moto 1 there. Let me just get a few things dialed in. Making sure everybody's got my GWIDs and stuff. That way we can kind of roll right into it, and I can jump out of one and into the next. Once again, hope everybody's having a fantastic Friday afternoon. I know I've been super excited to get into this and getting ready to watch this racing. I tried to qualify early. Obviously, work got in my way for EU stuff, but we do get to take a look at it as we dive into the NA side. Top quality 250 ran a 152. Yeah, dude, a lot of these guys have been absolutely moving here tonight, and super excited to see where these guys are going to be. Even our Pro-Am class, just inside the just outside the top 40. I mean, it's still a 158.2, and that is absolutely flying. So Dom 163 on that Precision Racing is going to be our fastest qualifier in the Pro-Am class. new way of doing the pro-am. It's kind of dumb because people that were pros before can race pro-am, and half pro-am is pros now. So, well, I mean, you kind of said the second part of that right there. So a lot of our half of our pro-am guys are now moved up into the pro. Those guys probably should have been in pro right from the get-go, but they've been sandbagging it down into the pro-am. So I do think this is going to help out a lot with kind of evening those out and hopefully helping out the program. We're going to see, obviously, as the season goes on, the first time that these guys are going to be doing something like this. So definitely interested to see how that does work out. Hey, man, you never know. Obviously, round one is, I think, always an absolutely stacked field. Everybody and their brothers coming out to race round one. You'll see a lot of people start to trickle off. Obviously, mid-season, towards the end, a lot of people are kind of gone. You would think that sandbagging is dumb because, yeah, right, AMS doesn't mean anything, but at the same time, all these guys still do. A lot of people still sandbag everything. Nobody wants to be last, even if it is the pro or not. They want to be up on the top step of the podiums, and they want to have those interviews here in special media. So it definitely is a bit of a challenge. I know the guys, or everybody that runs a race series, fights with it each and every week. So right now, I think this is probably the newest innovation. See if this works or not. And then we'll kind of go from there. We'll see what these guys cook up. And I know Wes has been scheming and building this in the background. So I think it's working really well. We're going to have to see as we move through the season. Also, Burger, appreciate the follow there, brother. Welcome on in. We are just getting loaded on into the race servers here. We're going to be doing 250 Pro-Am Moto 1. Then we're going to be jumping over to the 450 Moto 2. So if you are in one of those, make sure you guys are tuning in. If you guys got any friends or family that want to watch along, make sure you guys send them the special media link. We are live on TikTok as well. I know it doesn't look the greatest over there, but you do have that viewing option as well. I do appreciate each and every one of you guys hitting that follow button. If you got the means, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. It means the world to us over here in special media. Everything that we get from you guys basically goes right back into the stream. The booth that we're sitting in, the mics, everything that you guys hear and see is all pretty much funded by you guys. So make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe if you got the means to. As well, if you didn't know, you get a Prime sub. So if you have a Prime account through Amazon, you do get a free monthly sub where you can watch ad-free for all of the racing action each and every month. We are going to be doing every round of the Pro-Am series, kind of along with this whole aerial crew. We do have a couple other things in the works, so definitely super excited to see how that's all going to work out as well with some different series. So make sure you guys are staying tuned, hitting that follow button, getting notified for everything that we got going on here in special media. Additionally to that, we do have some sponsors here inside of special media. So a couple names that you guys obviously see around the screen are the aerial crew. But we do have VM Visuals. We got Club MX, THV, MXL, TPR, AB Customs, CBS, all of those guys, they all put in and they all make special media what it is. And I got a lot of cool things that I'm working with Club MX and a few of the guys on. I know we did a 1,000 follower giveaway. It was kind of just in-game stuff. Most people have all of that. But what we're going to be trying to do as we continue to grow and continue to further this process along is look to get some more IRL gifts and giveaways and things like that. So maybe down the road, we'll be able to do some pro rider gear giveaway, maybe some signed jerseys, things of that nature, and just bring more real life to the game of MX bikes. I think that's what we're all here for, and that's what we all love it for. But once again, huge shout out to all the aerial crew and all these guys for making all of this possible. We're actually going to kick things on down to our track cameras, and that way we can start to get a look at this beautiful track brought to us by that whole aerial crew. So let's kick things on down and see what we got going on. Additionally to this, I will say, if you guys have any kits, there is a Pro-Am section that I pulled from here today. I know most of you are hoping to be in the pro race, so it's a little bit of a clunky thing trying to figure it out. If you guys have the ability to send in just a whole team kit, I don't mind downloading everybody's stuff, whether you're a pro or Pro-Am rider. So definitely make sure you guys are sending those kits in. Outside of that, you can see a whole bunch of these guys. Got a few of their kits. Pick some rider names on here. We got the man, Ozzy himself. Looking very clean in that TLD kit. Got a Charged Cycle Works rider over here, a McLovin. Got the KTM, got the yellow backgrounds. Absolutely love it. Showing a little of that amateur side of him off. Super cool to see stuff like that. We got the CDS Zero riders over here. We got Eggman and Jesse, both on those KTM's bikes, looking very clean. Kits on point as well. Another Charged Cycle Work bike in there, the 143. I believe that is going to be Ford shot. A Motomart rider in here. What else we got? We got Teats from the SDR, Joman on that Normsco FXR ride, Jinx the Mutiny Rider Co. team rider there. We got Cass, Nicky J on the GTC Films ride. Got Smithy from the East Action Sports. I know these guys sent in their kits. Looking very clean on that KTM. Posty, we are going to be doing 250 Pro-Am Moto 1, and then we're going to be jumping over to 450 for Moto 2, or the Pro-Am. Weld coming out saying that Suzuki is going to win the Motomart rider. That is it's a big reach, but hey, man, I guess we will have to see. I mean, I'm interested to see, honestly, like, this track really should show just really who's got kind of the most consistency. I feel like we talk about that a lot here. And these guys, I think these tracks are really going to kill it. There's B-Rod. What is going on, brother? Appreciate the follow. Welcome on in. I know he's got the pro stream going on over on his channel. Banned all KTMs. That is a crazy statement. I think you'd have a lot of people not very happy with you if we ban the KTM, as you can see. But we should be going racing here very shortly. I know these guys just getting a few things dialed in on their side. See, I do agree. I'm a Husky rider. I ride the Husky. But, I mean, as I kind of look across the field here, it looks like most of them are all orange here. And, well, I would say the YZF definitely was one of the top bikes. Still is on the 450 side, especially for Supercross there. Coming to outdoors on the 250, seeing a lot of guys down here on the KTMs. But, like I said, the one man to be watching out for. Mappler here on that Motomart Suzuki ride. Gonna be seeing if he can put that Yoshimura to work here on that RMZ. Only rider on the entire gate that's going to be kick-starting that bike. WHX rider there. Dom 163's got this in the bag. Raced him, or he's pro caliber. So that is definitely kind of the conversation that we were just having, seeing how this new Pro-Am Pro schedule is kind of breaking out. I think this Pro-Am class is going to become a very fast class. A lot of people are going to be duking it out towards the front of the pack. A lot of consistent riders in here. A lot of big names as well, so... And I didn't even get the notification for that. Just said Matt getting us started. I don't know if his sub if he resubbed there or not. I don't know why that didn't trigger. But we do have XIM hitting that follow button. Appreciate it, brother. Welcome on in. Prime sub. Appreciate it, brother. Yeah, it didn't pop up. I'm going to have to play around with that a bit. We also got over on the TikTok side. We got the man Easton Graves himself. Appreciate you hanging out with us, watching over on the TikTok side. shooting the roses and stuff over there. Appreciate it, homie. We got Sambo L2 AMR. Appreciate the follows. Matt saying Easton's slow. You guys don't know who Easton Graves is, make sure you guys go check him out. He's one of the fastest up-and-coming mini riders that I think we got around these days. Make sure you guys are keeping an eye on him. Oh, there it goes. Now I got the sub notification. Appreciate that, Matt. One of the homies since the beginning, 6 months in a row. Let's go. He had to share it. Definitely make sure you should hit that share button if you're resubscribing. Let me know. Love to see all the support from you guys. Outside of that, who do we got? I know a couple of these guys been saying. What did I see? I saw Dom in there, so I think Dom is one of the fan favorites. Anybody else got? McLovin saying McLovin maybe 20th. I've seen you ride fast. I think you got it in you. Hunter? Oh, no, Hunter in there? Let's see. Oh, on the TCR ride? All right, all right. Red, yes, sir. I did see Mirzi's name pop up in here, so we are getting a Mirzi appearance. There's a lot of fast guys in here. This is definitely going to be a one hell of a Pro-Am race. I think really what fits more of a Pro-Am is what we're seeing here today. Hence the name Pro and Am. Yeah, Red, we got Joman and Smithy and Mirzi all in here. Jim, yes, sir. We are going to be moving over to the 450 Pro-Am Moto number 2 after 250 Moto 1. Little Graves, there he is. Winter could be a low-key sleeper. Good shout. Good shout. Let's take a look at our qualifying times here, at least in the 250 class for now. Like I said, we did have Dom on that Precision Racing KTM with a 158.2. Followed by him is going to be Submac on the PWR MWS ride. He's going to be another one to be watching out for. Hunter on the TCR BMR KTM. I'm going to just say KTM across all of these. Eggman on the CDS VPE ride. Ozzy Happy from the HSM Crew 0. Cooper on the PWR BMR. G-Rob from the MXL FXR Crew. Jinx on that Mutiny Rider Co. team. Logan S. from AEO. Dianetro, I think that's how you say his name, on that AEO 0 ride as well. A Take Cass D from the Mutiny Rider Co. team. 412 on the HRT Burger from the Nitro Developments Crew. Giro on the AEO 0 ride. Nacho, the Privateer rider. Mirzi on that Normsco FXR. NVSN, another rider in the mix. We're looking back here, back at about a 159.2, so only a second separating these guys that I've been kind of listing off through. Who else we also got in here? J Will on the SPX Performance. Gustavo on the Nexus Co. Bobin, Privateer rider. Fortshot on that Charged Cycle Works. Easton on the Elite LCR ride. Jake, the Privateer. Cal on the SWMG KTM ride. I do got to say, Jake on the Husqvarna. Easton qualifying on that Honda CRF 250R. We got Mappler on the Motomart Suzuki ride. Hypes from the Odyssey team. Joman on that Normsco FXR. Smithy from the East Action Sports. Gwen, Jesse, Hinks, Nikki, J, Winter, Teets, Cannon, and Miss Eve? Miss Eve, I think that's how you pronounce that there. We do got a whole pile of riders that we're going to be watching out for in here. Red, you made 450 Pro-Am? And here we go. That is going to be the horn. Getting ready to go racing here for the first time that we are going to have in this Pro-Am aerial racing season. Going to be a very good one here. Going to take a look here from turn number 1. Obviously, choice of gate is going to be down to this inside area, but you can never sleep on a few of these guys on the outside. They get a good jump, good drive down the start straight. They may have an opportunity to sweep into this very tight 180 left-hander into another quick right-hander after we cross over that whole shot line. And it's a drag race back up the hill over the Dragon's Back and into the Race Tech tabletop. So we're going to be keeping an eye on this. Revs are going to be going up here in just a minute. And here we go. 30-second board is down. Revs are going to the moon as we get ready for moto number 1. Gate is down and we are going racing. And who is going to be grabbing our whole shot for moto number 1 of the season? Giro running wide. And a take on the TGR KTM ride is going to be grabbing the whole shot, but quickly falling back off the line. We apologize. We got a couple people kind of clipping in and out. It does look like Submac on the PWR MWS KTM ride out to the early lead. Nacho, the privateer rider, and G-Rob on that MXL ride all right in the mix. Looks like we are going to have a rider going off the top. That is Nacho, the privateer rider. He's going to have some work to do. These are the laps that you need to be as smooth as possible. Get away from all the craziness as we see Eggman take Ozzy, Smithy on that East Action Sports KTM ride. J-Will on that SPX Performance. You can see a couple different lines already working in. McLovin able to dodge the carnage there from the privateer rider. Joman up over the top of the berm. And a bunch of riders going to be trying to pile up to that right-hand corner. We do have a rider down. Guys trying to dodge it. Joman off the side of the track just leaps into the stands there. Still keeping an eye towards the front of this pack, though. We do have Submac still running strong in that number 1 spot, trailed by G-Rob on the MXL FXR KTM ride. And here comes Jinx making a strong charge early on into that number 3 spot. And I think we got a race on our hands. These 3 guys did not separate one bit through this entire lap 1. And are we going to see a couple guys put on the burners here? Submac going to try and run away with this one. G-Rob, he's in a tricky spot here. He can't get too aggressive, but he does need to stay a little defensive here as both G-Rob and Jinx go wide. G-Rob is going to hold on to that number 2 spot. Jinx in that number 3, glancing over his shoulder. McLovin on that charged CycleWorks KTM, making that yellow-plated orange bike look really good here. Eggman going to be right there behind him on that CDS KTM, and Teets as well on the SDR ride, all in the mix. NVSN is going to be running in about that 7th position. J-Will on that SPX Performance, he's going to be moving himself into that 7th spot. Another charged CycleWorks rider, Ford Shot, looking very good here, looking to make the pass on J-Will, not quite close enough, and he is going to open the door. Jake, down to the inside, and NVS is going to get punted off the side of the track. McLovin making a re-entry. Don't know where he just came from, but he is going to lose quite a few spots here. But as we all know, this Pro-Am race. We are going to be running a 30+2. So these guys have a lot of work to do throughout this race. Track's going to be slowly deteriorating. Where can these guys make up time? Seeing J-Will go down around the outside. 3 riders down. NVS is going to pick up 2 of them. And that is going to allow Binks and Jesse as well to close in the gap. Jesse gets a little squirrely up the big hill. There is Ozzy still running strong. Cass D there on that Mutiny Rider Co. KTM. Got a couple of those riders here in the Pro-Am class tonight. There is Joman. Had a few bad get-offs early on in this moto. Going to have his teammate, I believe, not too far behind him. There he is, Mir Z on that Normsco FXR ride, running very strong. Cody on the DWR PPFS KTM ride. He's going to be trying to hold off Mir Z, at least for the time being. Bobin as well going after Joman there. It's Corbel as well. Appreciate the follow, brother. Welcome on in. Got 250 Pro-Am Moto number 1 underway. And we are only about 5 minutes into this race, so still plenty of time to go. And we are watching actually G-Rob now into our race lead. And no, Jinx is going to take that away from him. So the Mutiny Rider Co. is going to move himself up into that number 1 spot. G-Rob on the MXL FXR ride going to be right there on his tail. And G-Rob's going to tuck the front, goes down. And that is going to open that gap. 1 and 2 starting to space out just a bit. Submac on that PWR KTM ride. He is going to be trying to charge back up, seeing if he can make the pass stick back on G-Rob. G-Rob said in disc, yeah, yes, I made Pro-Am and is now running top 3. He's looking very clean here. And honestly, as we always talk about it, we have a lot of kind of hot lap heroes. But the guys that can link laps together, those are the guys that really shine, and especially getting a good start. That is very key, especially in these 30-minute motos. Watching Eggman rip around the top of that corner, sitting currently in 4th place right now. We do have Teats on the end, SDR KTM ride, J-Will following him. We do have Jake and Ford Shot. Ford Shot, a little mistake, allowing our man Jake by on the Husqvarna ride. And VSN still holding strong there in about 9th position. Is going to have the other Charged Cycle Works rider, McLovin, hot on his tail, rides a wheelie all the way up to the big triple. That is going to cost him some time coming up short. Cass D is going to make the pass, as we do see McLovin cartwheeling off the side of the track. Jesse, Joman, Ozzy, Mir Z, Hinks, and Giro not quite close enough to make the pass. Is he going to make the pass up the inside here? 3 riders wide. Everybody staying on 2 wheels. That is a battle right there. Giro has the inside. Is going to make the pass stick on McLovin here. McLovin not rolling over for him, though. Still holding strong. He's going to be glancing back, looking at about that 16th position, 17th. Next up, we're going to have Cooper on the PWR. We do have Bobin as well as Cannon on that HSM ride. Saw him in the GP series, running very strong in the Pro-Am class as well. We do have Gwen back there sitting in 20th. Nacho, the privateer rider, started up front, but quickly fell off the pace. We do have Winter, one of the people calling him out in chat, seeing if he can make the charge just outside that top 22. Berger on the Nitro development. He is up in the mix as well. Kind of glancing at our last few riders. Cal, Hunter, Coy. There is Rico on the MXL ride. Nikki J. Smithy buried in the back here, and Hypes is going to be that final rider, I do believe, on our lead lap, or at least who has stayed in the race. So we're going to cruise on across the track here back to our race leaders. Do still think we got G-Rob, Submac, and Jinx all still right there together, but guess who is back in front? And that is the MXL FXR rider, G-Rob, who has been running absolutely phenomenal here in the early laps of Moto 1. He's looking really good, though. Submac not letting him get too far away. And it does start to come down to kind of head games. Is Submac just kind of riding with him? Does Submac have the pace to pass him? Really comes into question. Who can stay the most consistent? Already seeing Jinx running around the outside line there. Just trying to find a little more consistency on this track. That is 1, 2, and 3. 11 seconds back. We are going to have Eggman on that CDS KTM ride. He is starting to push the pace, though. Slowly closing in on our front three. So does he have what it takes? Can he make the sprint and catch these guys? We will have to keep an eye on timing and scoring there. Next up, J-Will on that SPX performance ride. Still running very strong. NVS is running in about that 5th position. Just saw Ford Shot go down, allowing a few more riders to make their way by. There's going to be Jake, Casti, and Teets all right there together. Ford Shot in the mix. Jesse from that CDS 0 team, he is going to be running in about 11th. Ozzy, McLovin, Joman, all still in there together, sitting just outside that top 10. Giro is well on that AEO 0 bike, going to be trying to charge his way forward. And Cooper from the PWR team, he is going to be looking to move himself up inside that top 15 if he can grab a couple more. Cuts definitely are going to be coming into a play for a lot of these riders. And there he is, Cannon, starting to make a good charge, caught up to the rest of this pack here. That is exactly what you need to be doing. Making passes, keeping people in sight, that keeps you driving forward. You just got to dodge a few of the riders going down, who we see Hinks down on the hill. That is one of the worst places that you can be. WHX rider able to get up and moving relatively quickly, though. Well, not quite sure where our Suzuki rider went. Taking a look, it does look like Mappler and a Take did retire out already. That is unfortunate. Was hoping to see the Suzuki barking around this track, but unfortunately not going to happen. And let's catch back up with our race leaders as we have about a half a second separating 1 and 2, and Jinx not too far off pace. And just as we say it, we jinx him. He had made the pass on G-Rob and then goes down. So he is going to throw away that lead right back to him. But guess who has made the pass? And that is going to be the man Submac, who is back into the race lead. About 4 minutes shy of our halfway mark. And 1, 2, and 3 have been absolutely flying. Eggman still holding strong in that number 4 spot, about 14 and a half seconds back. Next up, J-Will on the SPX performance ride. He is 19 and a half seconds off pace. And man, NVSN goes off the side of the track again. Wouldn't be shocked if he has one of the fastest laps here tonight. But it just needs to figure it out and figure out how he can keep that bike on 2 wheels. We do have Teets and Ozzy. Jesse as well. And additionally to that, anybody on the 450 side, if you guys are racing the 450 class, if you have the opportunity to screenshot the top 22, I would greatly appreciate that. And if you could send that to me from the Pro-Am class for when we switch over to Moto 2, we have something to actually talk about. It does look like Submac able to open up that gap. 5.5 seconds now, as he has been on rails these last few laps. Taking a look at this beautiful layout here, out here in the middle of the desert. Submac still running strong in that number 1 spot. In that number 2, G-Rob from the MXL crew, he is still running very good. Right behind him, Jinx on that Mutiny Rider Co. Husqvarna ride, one of the only Huskies up inside that top 10 outside of Jake. J-Will did make the pass on Eggman for that number 4 spot. Eggman going to be sitting in that 5th position now, and it is going to be getting caught here by Casti and NVSN. So these guys are putting the moves on. These guys going to be absolutely flying. Does look like we got a couple guys saying that Hank's coming for that P1. We're going to have to keep an eye on him. Although I see him back there in about 18th, so he has a lot of work to do. Jake, the privateer rider on that Husqvarna, looking very clean up inside that top 10. Being chased down by Giro there on the AEO 0 KTM ride. He's in a little bit of a different line there, jumping all the way around the outside. And I kind of like it. That was smooth and fast. Does look like that is Cannon on the HSM ride, now currently sitting in the 11th position and has made his way around Joman for that 10th spot. Ozzy still holding strong. Ford shot on that Charged Cycle Works, looking at about a 14th position now. Mirzi on that Normsco FXR KTM ride. He is going to be 12th with how all the cuts settle out. McLovin on that Charged Cycle Works bike. He is going to be sitting about 16th with cuts. Jesse's going to tag him on the inside. And that is going to allow Cooper around on that PWR KTM ride. Look how steep this hill is. I feel like a lot of people don't understand what these guys jump up into. And if you go down here, how incredibly hard it is to get back moving. We got a pile up over here. Jesse, that is going to be Nacho as well as Cooper. So that opens the door. I believe Hypes is a lapped rider in this mix. Hunter from the TCR ride, he is now getting his name involved. Berger from that Nitro Development, Ozzy, Nicky J. Winter, there he is, going to be keeping an eye on him as he continues to progress through this field. And we are right about the 15-minute mark. So these guys halfway through race number 1. And these guys have got to be getting tired. Hands starting to cramp. And their focus starting to slip. And I think that is the hardest part about these 30-minute motos. If these guys weren't running the pro races, these guys are all used to 20s. And now, after running 20-minute motos, you can realistically fight your way or sprint your way through all of that. But now, getting into these 30+2, you really have to lock in, stay consistent, and just work on race pace instead of just sprint speed. And that's what I think we're seeing here out of G-Rob and Submac, is these guys have opened that gap now. Almost 9 seconds over the number 3 spot of Jinx, and almost 20 now over J-Will. So these guys have been absolutely flying here towards the mid to end of moto number 1. G-Rob on that MXL FXR ride, still looking very clean. Appreciate all you guys for tuning in as well on the TikTok side. Appreciate all the follows over there. We are live on Twitch. That is our main streaming platform. We don't do all our streams on TikTok. If you guys are interested in everything that we got going on, make sure you guys tune in for all of it. As we jump back down to the racing action, G-Rob still running strong in the number 1 spot. About a 1.5 gap back to Submac on that PWR KTM ride. Jinx on the Mutiny Rider Co. Husqvarna. He is going to be in that 3rd position. And does look like Eggman able to get back around J-Will. So we do have a battle. 4th and 5th starting to go at it here. And that is 2 suspension sponsors going at it. CDS as well as SPX Performance. Who has the bike more dialed for tonight? We're going to see as these tracks continue to get eroded. It is going to be trickier and trickier for these guys to stay at pace. Once these guys pass by, we'll drop back just a little bit. Looking at NVSN on the KTM ride. Privateer rider. He's going to be chased down by Jake as well. Giro on that AEO going to be right behind him. Teets, Cannon, and there is Joman. That is going to be looking inside our top 10. Mirzi just on the outside. He's going to be running in about that 11th, 12th. Ford shot McLovin, two teammates finding each other. Can they charge and push themselves forward? Hunter on the TCR ride. Cooper pipes. There is Jesse, Ozzy, Bobin. Hinks falling back off the pace a little bit. 19th, Winter. We do have Berger, Nacho, Rico. And some of our final riders, Gwen there, Nikki, Jay, and Coy. And I believe last rider here is going to be Cal. Nope, it is going to be Smithy on that East Action Sports ride, just trying to get that bike to the finish line as they fight through this gnarly, grueling track here. And look at that, a mistake out of G-Rob has opened the door, Submac back into the race lead. And these guys have yo-yoed all race long. One makes a mistake, other one has a good lap, and we have a lead change. Jinx still not sitting too far off the pace here, 11 minutes to go, so still plenty of time to make something happen. We're going to see if G-Rob has what it takes. Can he reel in that number one spot once again? 6.5 second gap here. And I do believe that is going to be from some cuts. G-Rob maybe sitting at about 2 seconds of cuts there. And Jinx starting to look really good here towards the end of this moto. Has closed that gap in about 8 seconds in the last few laps. Glancing just over his shoulder, though, there he is. J-Will and Eggman still duking it out. J-Will did get the better of him. Eggman having a little mistake at the bottom of the hill. Those guys currently sitting 4 and 5, have been there all race long. NVSN, he is going to be in that 6th position. Giro and Jake. Oh, there's Cannon on the HSM ride. He has been absolutely moving up the leaderboard. Saw him back there about 20th early on in Moto 1. And we're going to see if he can charge his way back up through the pack. There must be a lot of cuts involved here. There's Jake, but it shows him in 7th. So really all of these guys only about 10 seconds apart. Not really a lot of space. One mistake, you're going to find yourself sitting outside that top 10. There is Teets, McLovin, and Hunter. Where did Ford Shot go as he did fall off of his teammate there? And there he is leaping his way up that moto option step up. Pipes, Cooper, and Jesse all in the mix. Winter slowly crawling his way now inside that top 20. Oh, and that is going to be Hypes going down. Winter's going to be joining him, somehow able to save that. And Jesse going down around the outside there. J-Will still holding strong in that number 4 spot, still being pursued though by Eggman. Some great performances from these guys. Our front, I would say 6 riders have all stayed pretty much 1 through 6 this whole race. And that does, like I said, come down to a good start and staying consistent. Still have about 8 minutes to go here in Moto number 1. And as you can see, track starting to get a little developed. Nothing too crazy quite yet, but obviously as we start getting into the end of this moto and into Moto 2, this track is going to get beat, and we are going to have to see how the track creators set this up. Matt, this is going to be Pro-Am. New structure of how ARL is doing it this year. So this year, everybody qualifies for the Pro class. Top 40 go into the Pro. And then basically 41 through 80 or 81 all go to the Pro-Am race. Ran at the exact same time as the Pro Series. So it definitely eliminates some of the sandbaggers out of the Pro-Am class, which I think what we're seeing here today is this race has been great. And as we talk about it though, G-Rob going down, getting stuck on one of the ruts, facing the wrong direction. Where is Jinx? And he has the opportunity to move up another spot. Not quite close enough to make anything happen, but may see him in his sights now. Pro ham and cheese. Love to hear it. That's funny. But watching these guys rip around this track, these front three have been looking absolutely flawless. Some of the fastest guys we have seen on track all day long. And I do got to say, I was just looking at some of our qualifying times. Jinx, G-Rob, and Submac, we're all within inside that top 10 of qualifying. So it was definitely kind of foreshadowing a little bit. If we take a look, though, a couple of our fast dudes here, Take our early hole shot winner, retiring out of the race. Not quite sure what happened with him. Seeing Mirzi make his way up the hill there on that Normsco FXR ride, getting chased by Jake and Jiro. Joman, his teammate, not too far behind them. Winter slowly picking off a couple more people. My 4-year-old had a little fake pet mouse. She named it Joman. There's the little pet mouse. Currently running up inside the top 10 at Pala here in the 250 Pro-Am class. And once again, Submac able to start to run away with this race win. 15-second lead now over the rest of the field. As we glance, though, for that number 2 spot, G-Rob and Jinx are now within the same turn with each other. So not quite sure what happened to G-Rob, but it has allowed Jinx to reel him in. Boy, must be he is a lapped rider in the mix. Like I said, Submac starting to pull away from the crew as we see him hit the big triple booter there. And it does look like G-Rob may have some cuts in here, so he needs to try and run away from Jinx if he wants an opportunity at that number 2 spot. It is a lot easier to win the overall if you go second here in Moto number 1 than a third. And with about 3.5 minutes to go here in Moto number 1, it is still going to be Submac running strong in that number 1 position on that PWR MWS KTM ride. And he has been absolutely flying. Looked great in qualifying. Has ran in that 1 or 2 spot all race long. Jinx from the Mutiny Rider Co team. He is going to be in that number 2 spot. G-Rob from the MXL FXR ride. He is going to be in that number 3. NVSN is going to be the next rider on our list, but quite a ways back from the rest of our field. J-Will now making some advancements, though, as these guys all have each other right in the same corner. I did see Eggman back there, but making a mistake and going down. And I do believe I saw over Eggman's shoulder. Not the name you want to see is Cannon on the HSM ride is going to be making the pass around Eggman. And that is going to be for the pass for 6th, I do believe. Cannon has been absolutely flying. We saw him buried early on in this race. Started back there in about 20th and has never looked back. And as we talk about it, though, he is going to go over the berm, goes down, going to get down to this inside line, not the preferred line. Eggman going to make the pass back. But those few mistakes did allow J-Will and NVSN to run away with it just a little bit. As we look at 4 and 5 there now, leaping their way back down the downhill. Let's take a look at Eggman as he makes his way up this big leap. Gonna check up just a bit. Cannon as well. So these guys starting to check up a little bit. Kind of a cool camera angle here for any video guys. Bowman, Hunter, Teets all right in the mix. Ford shot on that Charged Cycle Works ride. Cooper, McLovin as well. Getting stylish for the camera, but almost missing the turn. There is Hinks. He is in about 19th. Ozzy in that 20th. That set of hypes, I do believe a lapped rider still. There is Jesse on the CDS 0 ride up over the hill. Gwen in the 21st, and Smithy starting to catch up to the rear tire of a few riders as he has now moved himself inside that top 22. There is our race leader, Submac, on the PWR MWS ride. 30 seconds left to go here in Moto number 1 of our 250 Pro-Am class. And already starting to use a couple different lines, using the all the way around the outside, up the Moto option step up. And he's going to be charging down this long downhill, seeing if he can find any smooth ground. Berger and Rico, those guys are a lap down now. Jinx and G-Rob still side by side and going at it. And there it is. Time has expired. So we do have 3 laps to go. And Sub going to be coming over the finish line here any minute, grabbing that 2 lap card. Pitboard's telling him to breathe. 14.5 second lead. As long as nothing crazy happens, he has this one in the bag, still hitting the big double across. The shark fin actually slowing him down, kind of helping him out there that time. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, if you remember the SpongeBob's, we are now switched over to the white shark fins. A little more aesthetically pleasing. Punch Burger on that Nitro development just outside that top 22. Rico from the MXL ride, he's going to be chasing him down. But there is Jinx and G-Rob. These guys been duking it out. Can G-Rob catch back up to Jinx and not let him run away? That is Burger there. So Sub way up ahead. See him going through the rollers there. I'm riding the very edge of that rut. Ooh, goes down just a little bit, dodging the equipment there. And as we watch, though, going to be grabbing white flag here any minute. It is going to be Submac on that PWR MWS ride. Has been absolutely flawless here towards the end of the moto. And he is going to have to do it for one more lap. Take a quick breath and get ready to do it all over again for moto number 2. Clearly the start was key for a lot of these riders. And here he comes. White flag is out, so one more lap to go. Submac, can he get it done? 16, almost 17 second lead now over the number 2 spot of Jinx. Does look like G-Rob falling off the pace of him just a little bit. And I say a little bit, a lot of bit. G-Rob must have had a mistake. Looks like he is pretty clear from behind him. And on this final lap, we are going to catch back up with Sub here. Take a look at him through the final lap here. Everybody kind of spaced out right towards the end of this race. Does look like NVSN and J-Will still about 3 seconds apart, so definitely could be some action in there towards the end of this lap. Can and Mir Z only 2 seconds separating those guys. He is about halfway through this last lap. Couple lapped riders up in front of him, but nothing to worry about, as a 16-second lead on this final lap, I do believe, is going to be enough for him. Thought we were going to get a big whip out of him. Nothing there. And with only 2 more turns to go, Submac on the PWR KTM ride is showing how to get it done. 2 jumps to go. And Submac is going to get it done here in Moto number 1. What a ride out of the PWR rider. Absolutely flying. Battled about halfway with G-Rob and Jinx, but able to put the burners on, stay mistake free, and he is going to get it done for round number 1 in Moto 1. Seen a couple of the lapped riders making their way by. Jinx on the Mutiny Rider Co. in the number 2 spot. G-Rob not quite close enough on the MXL FXR ride, but it is still going to finish up in a solid P3 in a very, very stacked class. We are going to be watching for the rest of the riders here, though. NVSN is coming towards the line there. A 4th place out of him. Coy J-Will, 5th. Eggman right there behind him, but does have some cuts. So J-Will going to be grabbing that number 5 spot on the SPX Performance KTM. Eggman from the CDS crew. And glancing just a little bit back from them, Cannon on the HSM ride. Fantastic performance. Horrible start, but able to get a very clean top 10. Mir Z back in action on the Norms Co. FXR ride. That was at Ford Shot on the Charge. CycleWorks, Teets, Jake, Joman, there he is. Bobin across the line. We do have a lot of cuts in here. McLovin on that Charge CycleWorks ride. Comes across in 16th. Winter from the NDR crew. Ozzy there in 17th. Going to take that away from Winter. If anybody is on the 450 side, if you guys don't mind taking a quick screenshot of the results of Pro-Am, and if that is possible, I would love you. Appreciate it, Bryce. Ink's coming across the line. Do believe that was Jesse as well. And I believe that is going to do it, as all of our riders are off the track. Moto 1, a phenomenal race to watch. Damn, missed it. All right, here we go. Let's kick things on back down to the booth here for just a quick minute, as we are going to tune in to the 450 Moto 2 of our Pro-Am class. So give me just a second here. And the admins, if you guys are listening, should be just a quick second. Moto 2 is for me. How'd you do in Moto 1 there, Bryce? .38 to 8th. That's not bad at all. I would be very happy with an 8th place, especially in these very stacked classes. Scalvage. I was picking up what you're putting down, but also, yeah, while we were streaming though, a couple guys, it's Corbel, Dallas, and Bailey. Appreciate the follows there. Not ideal, but hey, it's still a P8 is very strong. Still able to salvage something. Could still possibly a top 3 in the overall. Shim. Don't get stuck back there then. It is always tough trying to battle your way through the back. That's why we talked about just a bit ago. Dude, I think everybody makes fun of Chase there for his head tilting, but honestly, I think we all do. Eggman's, what's that barking? Yes, sir, dude. You were moving. You kept making a mistake, and then you reel him back in. You get a pass, and then you make a mistake, then reel him back in. Oh yeah, we'll be watching turn 1 there. See what we got piling in that into turn 1. Do we know who won Moto 1? 450? Shim saying his race was ruined. Oh, Dylan. Oh, and also for everybody that was commenting on the 250 side of it all being orange, when we click over to the 450 side, it is no better. It is just all blue. You got Coltrane from the AEO Zero ride. We got Cray on that charged Cycle Works. KTM, always looking very clean. Cray washer bike. Bryce on that charged Cycle Works, still sitting on the dirty bike there. We got Red from the MXL FXR crew, one of the homies. I don't believe so. I'd always be sending his stuff literally as Moto 2 gate drop. Just have Rico send a whole team drive. Posty saying, yeah, P1, let's go. ENW Joshy, appreciate the follow there, brother. Welcome on in. Get ready to go racing for our 450 Moto number 2 of our Pro-Am class. And once again, a lot of big names in here. I think quite a few. Crank in here, Grim, Emmy, Posty. See Coltrane in here. Shim, Bryce, Bray, Red. There's a whole bunch of common names around this. I was super excited to see how this Moto 2 goes. Who do we got? Who's taking P1 here in the 450 Moto 2? Any thoughts in chat here? Saying Dylan from the Blazed MX crew, this guy right here. I do not have his kit, unfortunately. I got the helmet. If you guys have team drives too, like if you got a whole team of people, you guys can send them into the special media Discord as well. So if you guys just send a whole pack in, like I know the reason why you see all the charge guys, they send me their whole, pretty much their whole year in one shot. So I'm able to download it all, get it all in place, make sure everything works, and then we can kind of go from there. Brett ran out of gas with 2 laps to go. Oh. No way. Gray watched his bike. We did. Running out of gas is like the worst thing, because it's something so small and you think you got it dialed in. Oh, there's a track over here. There's a wall there. We got T-Loud in there gripping the track. I want to see somebody quad this. If anybody's watching. I want to see somebody hit this and quad over. Yeah, you're going to need more speed than that. Off the side. You might have to like come more from the right side of the face. Ragged, appreciate the follow there, brother. Welcome on in. I do think we're going to be going racing here very shortly. I think Pro Class is getting ready to go underway. Ooh, that was clean. Did a little leg hang off it. Got up on top. Or a little lag there. Anybody else's kids kicking around here? We got Cranks here on that East Action Sports. Love the blue. Who else we got around here? There's Gray. There's the man Chim. Yeah, the EAS logo. These guys always looking super clean. Model's a little off, but what can you do? Ghosty and Opium stuck together. Oh, and I think that might be it. We might be getting ready to go racing here. As riders should be heading on down to the gate as we get ready for moto number 2 of our 450 Pro-Am aerial class. This is going to be a good race here. Got some word that Dylan won race number 1. Going to see if he can get it done here again in moto number 2, if we're going to have a new winner now that the cameras are out. Pressure is on. There we go, getting a reset real quick. Taking a quick scroll down the rider list, seeing them all on the gate. Once again, everybody going to be trying to grab a good start here. But here we go. 30-second board has gone down, and revs are going to be going up. Who is going to be grabbing our whole shot in moto number 2 of round number 1? Gate is down, and we are going racing. And once again, a sea of blue, but a orange bike is going to cause some headaches. And Cray on the Charge Cycle Works KTM grabs the whole shot and our early lead. Into the number 2 is going to be Josh there in that number 2 spot. Aaron C. He's going to be running in that number 3 position. And Gewer. Apologize for the name pronunciation. But he is now going to move himself into that number 3 spot. Little mistake. And Fish on the HSM Zero ride. Here he comes as he is making passes early on. And just like you guys alluded to, Dylan on the Blazed MX KTM ride. Sitting just outside, probably 5th, but he is going to make a mistake. Goes down. He's going to collect Gooey with him. A couple riders going to be making their way by. Crab as well as Posty, Gypsy all in the mix. Grim. There is Gooey, Brett, and Oppo. Exit T-Loud Red. Bernad? I think that's how you say his name there. You have Austin C as well in the mix. Oppo making a mistake. T-Loud, bunch of riders stacking up together. There is Shim, a very fast rider. Seen him in the Supercross season. He's going to be looking to move his way up the pack here. Red, if this works out, he needs to just attach to Shim and charge towards the front. But speaking of our front runners, Cray on that charge. CycleWorks KTM is looking absolutely phenomenal here in that number 1 spot. 5.5 second lead over the number 2 spot of Gower. The privateer rider, we do have Austin C on that Baxley's Yamaha ride. Crab on the KTM. Posty from the Dignity Global team. Dylan with another mistake as soon as the camera hits him. And he is going to be going down. Gooey on that TSRC KTM ride. He's going to be moving up one more position. And Josh as well. Good start, but man, he struggles with the outsides of turns. Look at the sea of blue, though. Scorpion from the Blitzco. There is Grim on the CBR ride. Oppo down at the bottom of the screen. T-Loud, Fish, Shim, Austin C. Shim going down off the back of the bike. Brett and Reggie right next to each other. There is Red on the MXL FXR ride. Ernad in the mix. And off the top of the berm, and that is hurting a lot of these riders. Exit, Ezra. There is Shim, Gypsy. Bryce on that charge. CycleWorks going to be trying to charge his way forward, and he has got a lot of work to do. Gage, Crank from that East Action Sports ride dealing with Oppo here and is going to get pushed off the side of the track. Opium and Coltrane going to be our last 2 riders here. And so we're going to be jumping back out to our race leaders. Looks like we got Cray up and over the big triple, throwing it sideways as he is opening that gap even further. 7 seconds now over the number 2 spot of Gower, who is looking good, though, so Cray definitely does not have time to let off. Gower in that number... Oh, no, that's Posty now in that number 2 spot. Gower in the number 3. Crab in the 4th, and Aaron C. going to be running in that 5th position, so we're going to have a bit of a change-up already in our race order. Josh and Scorpion going to be moving up a little bit there as well. There is Gooey on the TSRC KTM ride. Austin C. falling back just a little bit. Looks like he may have some sprint speed in him, though, as he's going to make the way up the inside and takes away the position from Gooey there. Emmy from Start Your Systems on the Yamaha ride, looking very clean in that 10th position. As he has a sea of riders behind him, he's going to be trying to run away as fast as he can, because here comes Exit and T-Loud. Both these riders looking very good, and they are absolutely flying. Look at the gap they just put on the rest of this pack here in one turn. Reggie, Dylan, Shim, and Bryce all in the mix. Bryce trying to work up the inside, is going to make the pass, but gets a little squirrely coming out of the turn. There's one of his close friends, Red, right there behind him. And once again, this class is absolutely stacked. Shim getting a little squirrely, goes down. Is that bike going to collect anybody? It does, and that is going to be Gypsy. A couple riders getting a little crazy here, trying to drive turns a touch too hard, and that is going to cause some issues for these riders. And man, do I gotta say, Cray is absolutely on one here, as he has now put almost 13.5 to 14 seconds on the rest of this pack. But here we have the battle here, 2, 3, and 4, all right in the same corner of each other. Gower still holding strong on that 271 Yamaha ride. Crab in that number 3 spot on the 67. Crab trying to work up that inside line, not quite close enough to make it happen. Just showing the front wheel, though, keeping the pressure on. And as we all know, though, we have 23 minutes to go here in Moto number 2. Still plenty of time for mistakes. Watching Crab leap his way, hitting that time master pool line and trying to do everything he can inside, outside. Diving down to the inside here. Does he have the line? He does have the outside line for the next corner. Gets a great drive, and both riders clip each other going down. And Josh now having an opportunity here. Can he get around Crab quick enough? And Crab able to defend and get back up and moving very quickly. Seeing two different lines there. One's all the way around the outside, one back down to the inside. These 450s got to be careful about leaping up to the top of the hill. Is Josh almost throwing it away? Scorpion off the side of the track. Bryce trying to keep that bike on two wheels and charging forward. Oh, and Gower and Crab down. They're going to take Josh with them. And we have a new 2 and 3 as Aaron C. and Posty now going to be moving themselves into that 2 and 3 spot. Crab still right there behind him. Posty lands on the front end of Aaron. And these guys not giving each other any breathing room. Fighting all for that inside line. That is going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 all right there together. Crab and Aaron get tangled up, go down. Looks like Posty a little struggle through that section, able to keep the bike moving forward though. Another mistake. Gower looking to grab that number 2 spot back away. Ooh, Austin C drives it in there, trying to make something happen. Line was not available though. Austin C off the side of the track is going to tag the shark fin. And I do believe Posty did as well. So Josh now having the opportunity to grab the number 2 spot away. Gets a good drive into the corner. Gonna have to choose an alternate line here down to that very inside line. Still not quite close enough to make the pass stick. Gower still holding strong in the mix as well. Looks like with cuts though, Gower is still holding strong in the number 2 spot. Austin C, he is going to be in that 5th position. Hemi from Start Your Systems actually shows 3rd on our leaderboard. As long as he can keep that bike up and moving, he may have an opportunity at a podium position. Crab falling back quite a few positions. Bryce from the Charged CycleWorks team, he has made the pass. Sitting up inside the top 7 now. Scorpion gonna be his next target from the Blitzco Yamaha racing team. Huey on the TSRC KTM ride. He is gonna be the next up on the list. Aaron C, who we saw towards the front of this battle, making a few mistakes. T-Loud still holding strong. Reggie, and there is the man Red from the MXL FXR crew. Ezra going to be right there behind him in about 15th. Next riders up, Shim from the RMX Yamaha ride. Coltrane, the AEO Zero rider, slowly making his way through the pack here, as he did make the pass on Grim. That is going to be there for the 17th position. Looking like we got another battle shaking up here. Reggie in red going to be going at it. Red looking for an opportunity up the inside. Reggie able to close the door, closes it again over the anthill. And it is a drag race. Red dives down to that inside line, does not get the drive he was looking for out of the corner. And these guys starting to push the pace, catching T-Loud. Red with a phenomenal inside line, and he is going to get a 2-for-1. And what a pass made. And let's start to climb back to the front of this pack here. Watch the battles unfold as Josh has moved himself into P2 on track. Gower still in that 3rd position. Posty sneaks up the inside, gives him a little nudge. And that allows Hemi as well to make the pass. Gower going to go from that number 3 back to about 5 or 6. Scorpion, Bryce, and Crab all still sitting pretty nonchalant. Nothing too crazy. With still 18 minutes still in this Moto number 2. A lot of racing still to take place. This class a lot closer than we saw in the 250 race. Outside of our race leader, Cray, who is nowhere in sight. I believe that is going to be Cray down there on that Charged Cycle Works ride. He has been in no man's land, grabbed the whole shot, and never looked back. And you can see the gap that he has back to the 2 and 3 spot. And we now have a battle here. Josh and Posty going at it. Ooh, and Posty tried to work up the inside. Nothing there. And he is going to go cartwheeling off the side of the track. Opens the door. 3 riders by. And Hemi from Start Your Systems now going to be looking into that number 3 spot. Second on our leaderboard with cuts. And look at that. Gower must have had a mistake with all the battling. Bryce able to reel these guys in. Going to try and dive down to the inside line. Does make it stick. Gower and Crab, these guys battled it out early here in Moto number 2. And they now have another crack at it. Posty down off the side of the track. And Scorpion has just been chasing Bryce here. Is Bryce now looking at about a 4th position. Does have 2 more riders not too far in front of him. Scorpion off the side of the track. Crab is found a 2nd gear as he is absolutely flying, making his way by Posty. Gooey is well not too far off the pace, and that is going to be Austin C. Aaron from that Baxley's racing team, he is going to be sitting in about, where is he at? Man, he's 14th. Must have some cuts here. Gooey down on the uphills, going to collect Ezra. And man, that is always going to hurt. You never want to see that. Red and T-Loud still duking it out here. These guys battling for inside that top 15. And 15th does not sound the greatest on paper, but I do got to say how fast this class is here. And the new structure, these guys are pretty much all pro riders. T-Loud going to give Coltrane the business up over the top of the rut. And Coltrane going to have to try and spin that bike around, get back moving. Bernad down on the ground. Grim able to make his way by. Couple more riders getting tangled up there. Red on that MXL FXR ride, still trying to move his way forward. Like I said, sitting about that 15th position on the 212. Seeing if we got any other battles going on. Crab able to overtake Scorpion from the Blitzco team. And this is our battle here. That is going to be Hemi from Start Your Systems, Josh the Privateer rider, and Bryce on the Charged Cycle Works KTM ride. All of these guys going to be piling all in together. And hey, we just got raided. Royal Ronin, appreciate the raid, brother. Hope the stream was good. Caught a little bit of it the other day. You're doing a phenomenal job on the streaming side. Welcome on in. Got Moto number 2 of our 450 Pro-Am event. Currently watching 2, 3, and 4 all duking it out here. Watching these guys make their way up the moto option step up. Hemi still trying to hold strong for that number 2 spot, but here comes Bryce as he is looking for an opportunity. Gets tangled up in the ruts, goes down. Hemi down on the ground as well. And Crab is going to be looking for a 2-for-1 here. Can he slingshot around the outside? Hemi able to defend it, does not get the drive out of the corner though. And Crab going to be looking for another spot there. Bryce needs to rebound and get back moving. And Josh has the speed, but the cuts absolutely killing him here. Dude, I gotta say, this track has been awesome, man. It really I think has been some great racing. A lot of people were saying it wasn't gonna be, but some of the best racing that I think I've seen in so far the past year. I think I can do this one. Oops, the wrong button. There we go. Shout out given to Royal Ronin. Appreciate the raid there, brother. Watching Posty and Ezra here going at it. That is going to be about 9th and 10th area. Shim on the RMX Yamaha still trying to make his way inside that top 10. Reggie right there behind him. Prizzy, appreciate the follow there, brother. Royal, appreciate it, man. Still keeping an eye on these guys. Watching Red from that MXL FXR crew going at it with Gooey from the TSRC team. And Hernad right around the outside looking for an opportunity, seeing if he can keep that momentum up. Exit as well as Coltrane from the AEO Zero team. He is going to be trying to pick up a couple more spots after getting tangled up with T-Loud a few laps ago. Glancing just towards the back of the pack here, see what we got going on. That is going to be Crank from the East Action Sports Ride. He's going to be in that 22 spot. Brett just outside the top 22. Gage in there. And I believe that is all the riders. Seeing where our race leader is. There he is. Cray has been absolutely phenomenal here. Grabbed the whole shot. Pulled about 6 seconds on lap 1. Just rode super clean. And he has been able to run away with this one. 22 seconds now over his teammate, Bryce. Has been looking really good here for the Charged Cycle Works crew. We glance over his shoulder. There is Scorpion from the Blitzco team. Does look like he might have some cuts under his belt. Crab as well. There is Bryce on the Charged Cycle Works. It's still duking it out with Josh, who has not given him any breathing room so far this moto. Hemi from Start Your Systems, one of the more consistent riders, still holding strong just inside the top 5. Bryce had a little off-track excursion, allowed Josh to get away just a little bit here, and Hemi to close that gap back in. Austin C and Gower going to be right behind him. These guys, man, they have been duking it out all moto. Austin able to get back up on pace on the rear wheel through the rollers up the inside, and he is going to be looking to make the pass. Not quite. Oh, he does. He squeaks the line away from Gower, and he is going to take that number 7 spot away. Man, what a battle going on through this whole pack. Looks like Hemi was able to make the pass on Bryce here. And we are a little over halfway through moto number 2. Always like to do a big shout out to the title sponsor of Special Media, Club MX. These guys have been doing a fantastic job with all of the stuff that they got going on. Race team, and obviously running the absolutely beautiful training facility out of Chesterfield, South Carolina. Those guys have stepped up, got a little support here on the MX Bikes world, and looking to do more with them as we continue to grow, continuing seeing all the support from you guys. I would love to be able to do some merch giveaways, things of that nature with those guys, if possible. So make sure you guys, if you're in the area, if you're ever training there, anything of that nature, make sure you guys let them know that you're a listener of Special Media. Kind of gives us the props and, like I said, some of the credentials to be able to bring you guys more action and more possible swag in the future. Mac, appreciate the follow there, brother. Welcome on in right down towards the later half of moto number 2 here of the 450 Pro-Am race. We are watching the battle here. Hemi Josh and Bryce all right there together. Josh getting crazy, throws the whip right into Hemi, and both riders able to stay up on two wheels. Bryce just watching this battle unfold. Crab was able to escape the mayhem just a little bit. So we're going to see can Crab start to reel in Cray just a little bit. 22 seconds on the clock as we sit. We're going to see if he can. Bryce trying to work up the inside of Hemi here. Not quite close enough to make it happen. Bryce going to work back down to the inside line. Don't see many people take that line, but Hemi having some issues of his own. Bryce going to be taking that number 3 spot back away from Hemi, and can now set his sights on Josh here. Josh with a bobble before the big triple. Is he going to try and close the door? He does not. Bryce able to get over the triple clean. Battle into the turn. Bryce doubles in and is going to grab that number 3 spot back away on track. Bryce has some clean air here. What can he do with it? Can he make this race interesting for that number 2 spot? Ooh, and Josh with a mistake. Hemi able to make the pass stick. And don't think we forgot about the other battle. Gower and Austin C still duking it out here. Look at that. Austin C triples into the corner. Not able to get to the brakes, though, fast enough. We do have Shim, who has been absolutely charging the whole race. Posty right there with him. There is Ezra in that 11th spot. Reggie shows 10th in timing and scoring. There is Aaron C from that Baxley's Yamaha racing team. Coltrane from the AEO 0 team running in about that 13th position. And if that shows anything, Coltrane, a pro rider running outside the top 10, that just shows how fast this class really is, and how much these Pro-Am guys may actually be able to contend in the pro class. Don't be shocked if we see a lot of new faces going into different rounds, as a lot of these guys all going to be trying to qualify into the pro racing. It is going to be Hernad there in 16th. Exit in 18th there. Where is Gypsy? There he is. He's going to be showing in 17th. T-Loud going to be in that 19th spot. Brett should be our 20th place rider. Red is well in there. Red had a great ride going. Unfortunately, probably a couple mistakes. Laps of concentration in these 30-minute motos, very common. There is Crank from the East Action Sports. He is the owner of PPFS as well. You guys are looking for any suspension, make sure you guys go check him out. There is Gage. He's going to be probably about the 25th place rider if I had to take a shot. And here he is, Ray, on that Charge Cycle Works ride in the number 1 position, showing only 2 seconds. Crab is... What happened here? Where did Craig go? Where did his 20-second lead disappear to? Is it we now see all these guys on screen. 2, 3, 5 seconds all back from our race leader. Did he start to fall apart? What happened? Can he rebound from the mistakes? And I keep forgetting Scorpion has been in this battle the whole time, but does have a decent amount of cuts that have been absolutely killing him on the leaderboard. Trying to work up an inside line there. Bryce trying to explore new lines as well. Some of that E-Road must be getting a little crazy. A lot of these riders using the standing to their advantage, not sitting down much, trying to get through some of the E-Road, some of the roughness with how deep some of these ruts are. These guys clipping bars, clipping pegs. Bryce almost swapping there. And this race just got a lot more interesting as we do see Cray here on our screen, we glance just over to the left. There is Crab. So Cray must have picked up a ton of cuts somewhere and not quite sure what happened. Scorpion going down. That is going to allow Bryce to close in just a little bit. Hemi down on the left side of the screen having some issues. Josh able to make the pass, and Austin makes his way up the inside, and he has gotten his name inside the top 5 now. Just like we were hoping for in the booth, is that we would have a lot of riders towards the front of this pack, right down to the wire. Austin getting that double, not quite going to double into the turn after getting a little squirrely there. Hemi able to hold on strong. Gray opening that gap back to about 3.5, 4 seconds. Not quite sure what happened to him, if he stopped, if he waited, or if he had a few big mistakes. With this track getting destroyed, you never know what could happen. That bike kicking him all over the place. Definitely doesn't look as settled as some of our other riders, but man, it is looking fast. It is working well. There is Crab, and he is going to tuck the front, goes down, and allows Scorpion to reel him back in. Once again, Scorpion trying to fight off some of these cuts, leaps the uphill, and somehow still manages to make that turn. Bryce on that Charged Cycle Works ride, scrubbing up to the top of the hill. Hemi going backwards, 360 up. Dumps the bike, and that is going to be Austin C making the pass. Gage, a lapped rider, getting out of the way for these guys. Ooh, and Hemi and Austin get tangled up. And these guys going to be duking it out down to the line. I can feel it. Both these guys don't want to let off. Both of them want that top 5 finish. Much better jump there from Hemi, but rear tire slides off the side of the track. Austin C, here he comes. Not able to grab the inside line there that he was looking for, but he is showing the pressure, showing the front wheel. I gotta say, Cray, whatever the mistake was, able to rebound quite quickly. 8.5 second gap now over the number 2 spot of the privateer rider Crab. Bryce from the Charged Cycle Works team's currently sitting in the number 3 spot. Scorpion from the Blitzco, after fighting off some of his cuts there, now in 4th. Hemi from Start Your System's going to be running in that 5th position. Austin C, who we got on screen here on that Baxley's Yamaha ride, he is going to be running in 6th position. Josh, the privateer rider, in 7th. Once again, a lot of cuts, so that does not reflect on track. There is Gower, has been very strong all moto long, looking to grab a top 10 here in moto number 2. And what more can you ask for round number 1? Grab the points, get yourself solidified, get the bikes dialed, and survive through round 1. There is Ezra there in 10th. Shim going to be not too far behind him. No, we're going to have Posty. There is Shim. Reggie down on the ground behind him there. Time did expire. As we should be having our race leaders coming through here very shortly. There he is. Cray on that Charged Cycle Works going to be grabbing the 2 lap board here. And he is going to be trying to get dialed in and finish out these final 2 laps and ride a absolutely flawless race. Grabs the whole shot and runs away with it. Little mistake towards the end, but able to rebound. There is Crab on the 67 machine. 10 seconds off pace. Bryce not too far behind, still trying to find where he can make up ground. There's only a 4-second gap here between Bryce and Crab. Bryce, I know he wants that number 2 spot. He is going to be looking for it with only 2 laps to go. Anything can happen. Is hoping for a mistake out of Crab, but one of the guys that has been incredibly flawless all race long is this man right here on the KTM. Crab has looked very strong. Had a little bit of a bobble early on. Was able to rebound though, move his way back up into that number 2 spot. I gotta say, huge shout out to Scorpion here. Even though the cuts are absolutely killing him from the Blitzco team, he has not let Crab get away from him all race long. And seeing Cray just over the horizon there in the background. 2 more laps till he grabs that white flag. And there he has it. White flag is going to be out. Cray on the Charged Cycle Works ride. 1 more lap to go. 9.5 second lead over the number 2 spot of Crab. Can he get it done here? Brett Mack there, a lapped rider. There is our number 2 spot of Crab. Looks like Scorpion having a few mistakes, falling off the pace here. And who are we missing? And that is going to be the man, Bryce. Where did he go? And there is Josh and Austin. Bryce, there he is. Bryce could be looking outside the top 5 if things ended like this. Looks like there is cuts still in play. But he was trying to chase down the number 2 spot of Crab. Now has to hold on for the podium. Seeing if we have any other battles going on. Does look like Hemi from Start Your Systems found his groove in kind of in the middle of nowhere there. Ezra and Gower still relatively close, 8th and 9th. This is going to be Posty from that Dignitas team, or Dignity, sorry. Jim from the RMX Yamaha ride. Looks like Gage, a lapped rider in there. There is Reggie in the 11th spot. See if we can catch up with our race leader. Looks like he is probably going to be... There he is. Ray on the Charged Cycle Works KTM ride. Looking to grab the number 1 spot here in Moto 2. Not quite sure where he ended up in Moto 1. But we will have to see, take a look at if he throws the whip. Getting stylish, mountains in the background as he is about to wrap up Moto number 2 here. Goes down hard and Crab is right there. Cray, did he throw away the race? 2 turns to go over the FXR tabletop. 1 final turn. Cray on the Charged Cycle Works KTM comes across the line. But Crab is going to grab the overall. Don't know what happened to him on the final lap, but Crab is going to get it done. What a final. Austin C across the line in the number 3 spot. Josh for the number 4. There is Scorpion from the Blitzco team in 5th. We're going to see how cuts line up here. Hemi and Bryce. Hemi's going to grab 5th. Bryce in the 6th spot. And what a turn of events. Gower, Posty. There is Ezra. Ezra's going to grab that number 9 spot away from Posty. Shim across the line for the 10th spot. No, Reggie 9th. Ezra 10th. Shim's going to be in that 11th. Posty in the 12th. Coltrane on that AEO 0 ride comes across in 13th. Gage in the 22nd spot. Aaron C and Hernad all the way down to the line. That is going to be 14-15. Exit from the AS or SCS, apologize for that, in the 15th spot. Huey across the line for 17th. Got a few more riders coming down to the final line. That is going to be Gypsy in the 18th. Red comes across, grabs the 19th spot. T-Loud, though, on cuts is going to grab that 19 away from Red. Red in the 20th. Brett in the 21st. Gage 22nd. And the rest of the riders, Crank, Grim, Oppo, Dylan, Fish, and Opium, all retiring out of Moto number 2 here. But what a race. Cray saying internet went out. Lost 20 seconds. Then a lapper had him crash. Then he made a mistake on his own. Oh, man. That is a tough one. 20-plus second lead thrown out the door on the final few laps as Crab on the number 67 gets it done here in Moto number 2. Cray on that Charged Cycle Works ride in the number 2 spot. Austin C in that number 3 spot. Josh Hinkle in the 4th, and rounding out our top 5, Hemi from Start Your Systems. Let's kick things on back down to the booth here as we continue to wrap up here for tonight. As always, it has been an absolute pleasure to hang out with all of you guys tuning in. I hope we continue this momentum and all of the great racing action through week after week. Do apologize for a little bit of a later stream here tonight. Kind of got some server issues to hash out. But I hope you guys had a great time. I know myself included. That was some great racing. Like I said, this new Pro-Am structure, seeing a lot of fast dudes in the Pro-Am class. And that's what it's really for. So we'll see. Like I said, next week could have a whole new set of faces, whole new set of people. Make sure you guys stay tuned for all of the racing action that we got coming up. Make sure you guys hit that follow button here in Special Media. If you got the means to, hit the subscribe, dodge all the ads. And like I said, I hope everybody had a fantastic time. Thank you to the whole Aerial crew, Wes and all of those guys for making all of this happen. Obviously, round 1, who knows what we're going to continue into the remaining rounds. Got an 11-round series, so it should be a good one. Thank you to everybody that sponsors the Special Media streams, VM Visuals, Club MX, MXL, TPR, just everybody that puts in AB Customs, THV. You guys are all awesome. You're the reason why we do this. Hope everybody has a great rest of your night. Make sure you guys stay tuned as we're going to go raid someone, make their day. Hope everybody has a great rest of your night, and we will catch you guys next week. Peace.
Young Nasa had us jigging, dipping, ain't know how to think. Now I got all these niggas stepping, swiping, catching plays. Hey.
Tony calls.
See, I'm back on my. Yeah. See, I'm back on my bullshit. Ayy, see, I'm back on my bullshit. Came a long way from school, bitch. We them niggas been banging and walking with full clips. Pocket filled with them blue strips. All I hang with the silent, can't fuck with no loose lips. If he ran, cut him loose quick. If a fuck nigga try, bet his ass make the news quick. Hit his ass with these blue tips. But these niggas won't shoot shit. Cause these peons ain't stepping how my niggas stepping. Walk them down, but that teach them a lesson. I been kicking shit cool and got paper like Messi. Bitch, I'm Zion, yo old nigga Reg. She say that she love how my big ass be dressing. How that